they can hear us. So I think.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
I could definitely hear you.
Can they hear me?
I don't know. Can they hear you?
Well, I'm not seeing my mic on in that world either. I don't know if they could hear me. Hold on.
Pull yourself up on the YouTube on
I'm
your
trying. I'm
phone.
trying. I'm
Okay.
trying.
All right. I'll pull mine up too.
Oh, they hear me because I could hear me.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys. We've
it's
having
been
some
glitching.
serious technical difficulties. So like,
Well, we've totally ruled out connectivity. That's
yeah,
100%.
it's
Yeah, because
might be an
me and you are
issue.
running strong internet right now. So, but
Might
we,
be
oh,
an issue
but
with
we are
StreamYard.
live. I mean, they could hear us.
I'm gonna start the music in a sec. Sorry, guys. I'm just playing around with the background because we're back on uh fucking Facebook finally.
Mike is playing around with himself.
Absolutely, all day, every day. I clicked the wrong button. Guy, absolutely. Time, Ryan. That's a yes.
That is a yes.
Yes.
Yo, I heard that they boot you off of TikTok if you're vaping. So do you think that was the culprit?
I don't know. I'm more confused with
I'm gonna just start saying EP Stein from now on.
my brain just went nuts. Because I had it playing in the background and I opened the picture just to make sure they got shared the pictures. And I had the song playing three different locations at almost the same time set. So it's like a double bass, kind of like that double bass. Can you hear me, sir?
Can I hear you? I can barely hear you.
Well,
I never hear you during the music. The music is very loud in my mix, so I hardly ever hear you.
pretty bad. Oh, it happened already, that's why.
Whoa, you cut it off
Yeah.
early.
Well, it was a second left.
Do you know what's crazy? Speaking about cutting off early, every time I hear the intro music, I feel like it's not playing faster, but I feel like it takes less time. Like the 3 minutes in my perception has sort of shrunk.
I don't understand. I don't know how to respond to that.
You ever get that? Like, well, it happens to me with movies, especially movies that I've seen a bunch. So like if I watch The Godfather now, I feel like The Godfather finishes quicker than it did the very
Nope,
first time I
no
saw it.
way. I've only sat through The Godfather one time in my entire life, and never again. And prior to that, I've gotten through it a couple of times, like to the middle. Like what bothered me was like, okay, this is dragging, and it's still the fucking wedding. It's the fucking wedding. I don't want to be at the
Yeah,
wedding
but
anymore. It's
that's what
still
I
the
mean. That's
fucking
what I
wedding.
mean. You see, because you watched it only one time. If you've watched it like 50 times, like I've seen it, like the wedding scene sort of speeds
No,
up
no,
in
no.
your
I've
brain.
seen it multiple times. I've only
Oh,
seen it
okay.
straight through one time.
One time. Okay. But I'm saying if you see it straight through the next time, it might run faster in your perception. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So
Like obviously like the Star Wars movies, like I've seen countless, and like it literally plays on a loop in my house most of the time. That and a lot of the classic movies are just, if it's on TV, I'm just gonna stop and watch it. You know what I mean? Like that's why I said The Godfather, because I literally watched The Godfather 2 yesterday just because it was on. That's what I fell asleep to, and actually, you know what? Maybe try watching The Godfather 2. If you've already made it through
I like The
Godfather 1,
Godfather too. I've seen it.
2 is way better.
Two is the
Like
better
2
one. Yeah,
2 is the
absolutely.
better one. Yeah.
It's like the thing with the sequels. There's not that many sequels that are better than the original, but The Godfather 2 is one of them. Terminator 2 is another one.
Well, there was a flood of shitty sequels like in the 80s and 90s. That's
Yes.
why. That's where the whole sequel suck, that whole like idea came from, was because a bunch of shitty sequels came out. Like, okay, let's just put it this way. After Terminator 2, most sequels blew goats until probably I don't know, like the Marvel movies
I mean, well, hold on.
that weren't based off a novel. Like, for example, that not the Lord of the Rings. You can't count
Lethal
that.
Weapon 2.
That was before Terminator 2.
Was
That
it?
came out it came out in like 19. Okay, Lethal Weapon 1 was 87. So Lethal Weapon 2 must have been 3 years after that. So maybe 90.
Let's see. I just looked up great sequels.
And then
Godfather.
Lethal
The
Weapon
Dark
3
Knight,
was,
bro. The Dark Knight.
yeah, but that's what I mean, until like the comic book movies. Until the comic book movies. Like
Aliens.
that's also 1984.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Well, that's also after the Dark Knight. There's a gap from like 1991
Lord of
until
the Rings.
probably,
The Two Towers.
you can't count those because those are adaptations of a novel. I'm talking original Hollywood original movies, like
Toy
something written
Story
for the
2,
screen.
bro.
Toy Story 3 actually
Oh, Toy Story
is
3 is on that list as well.
it's epic, yeah. But that's also a cartoon. It's not hard to fuck up a sequel of a cartoon movie or an animated movie. I don't think. I
I'll give
think
you that.
Yeah, I think if like obviously there's that whole suspension of disbelief, but when you try to put practicality in like a real live action movie, it's sort of hard to believe some of the shit that they come up with, just that are to plug up a plot hole, or that it itself is a plot hole because it doesn't match up with the original. You know what I mean? But the 80s had a bunch of garbage, like Troll 2. It's a cult classic. I know. I'm
Troll 2
probably
is
going to get shit.
a great movie.
Troll 2 sucks, bro.
Troll 2 is a great movie. Is that the
Nil,
one where they're in the house and they're stuck in the house?
Nilbog.
Monsters are outside and they're afraid of.
Yes, yeah. It's pretty much Evil Dead, but with trolls. You know,
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nilbog ice cream. Like,
Yo, that shit's a cult classic, bro. Don't hate. It's like the movie.
it is a
Freaked.
cult classic,
Or
but it still
Remember the movie
sucks.
Freaked?
Yes, I remember Freaked.
It's a
Yes,
fucking classic.
yes. You remember Blood Sucking Freaks?
Yes. Remember children shouldn't play with dead things?
Yes, I remember that too.
Killer clowns from
Yeah.
outer space.
But the thing is that the Killer Clowns was intentionally made to be corny.
And it
I
was
think,
great. It wasn't corny, but great.
but Troll 2 was literally made to tank. They made it to tank. Like, they knew they were intentionally making a bad movie, but not to be entertaining. Like, Killer Clowns from Outer Space was made to be, it's like the Terrifier movies, like where it's purposely made that way for it to be like on a level of corny that's just like, and gory, a level of corny and gory, the perfect mix of corny and gory that like is gonna get people to go back to the theater to see it. However, there were movies that were just like completely ruined how people even saw the original one. So a lot of people didn't even go out or rent, actually at the time, rent Troll 1 because Troll 2 sucked so bad. So it actually
I like
hurt.
Troll 2, man.
Troll 1 is way better.
Okay, do you know why I like Troll 2? Because I saw it when I was like 5, 6, 7 years
Yeah,
old.
me
Because it was on
too.
TV one day, and I wasn't probably supposed to see it. And I was like, "Oh, what is
Yeah.
this fucking
I
thing?"
rented it. I think I rented it because,
The movie
yeah.
The Gate. The movie The Gate is not a good movie.
I fucking love The Gate,
Well, I
bro.
love The Gate, but it's not a good movie.
It literally, like, The Gate is like one of those movies. It's such a comfort movie for me as a kid. It was like The Goonies. Watching The Gate was like watching The Goonies for me, because it was like two kids close to my age that were like conjuring demons, or accidentally came across that hole in the ground in the backyard, right? Was that what it was? Like, they came across the hole in the ground, and one kid was like a metalhead who was trying to play records
Yeah.
backwards, and the regular kid, it was his house, right? That the demons like
Yep,
invaded.
in the backyard. It was the hole they found.
And the big claymation Goro looking
Yep.
fucking, you remember Monster who just burst out of the floor? That movie was great. Oh, Wu-Tang Clan and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'm sorry, I'm writing a report to what happened to us before.
Oh shit. Yeah, we're a little displeased with, who is this? This is Restream.
Restream, yes.
See, I keep forgetting. We've been with Restream for, this is like the second year that we've been with
Yes.
Restream,
So
right?
I'm gonna go right into this video. We'll go here. We'll go here. We'll go here. And I don't like how the song doesn't finish. It just cuts off with dip. But anyway, I digress. So did you see this video?
No, I did not. And she's one of the astronauts that just came back down, right?
Yes.
Tiny Earth.
Hold on. Let's start this from the beginning.
When we saw Tiny Earth, people asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't necessarily just Earth, it was all the blackness around it. Earth was just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe. Uh-oh. So...
What, she had a brain fart.
I may have not learned, I know it. When we saw Tiny Earth...
So she just awkwardly loses her train of thought. She's not a public speaker. Like, what the fuck you want? I'm not making excuses or anything like that, but people who aren't used to, like, just talking will often be like, not know what to say next.
Listen, Mr. Logic, shut the fuck up.
Okay? No, because the thing is, like, listen,
take what the actual truth is, shove it up your ass, and listen. Okay?
But the thing is that
I get it. Hold on. Here's the conspiracies. One is that they never actually ever in space, and that the microphone dropped at that very moment, so she was being fed what to say, and then she didn't remember her speech. She was just literally being fed what to say.
Of course, she's being fed what to say because she doesn't know what to say.
Or she's a lizard person, and something malfunctioned.
She glitched.
And
you think she glitched?
In the Matrix.
Like Mitch McConnell? Like she glitched like Mitch McConnell?
Yes. Now we can go back to your factual dipshittery.
No, this isn't factual, actually. Well, it's part of the whole conspiracy culture, right? That, okay, now you get a lot of these, like obviously TikToks and Reels and Shorts and stuff that are like show a green screen with these astronauts in front of it that are all clearly AI doctored. You know what I mean?
My God, there's so many.
There's so many. Like, it's flooded. I'm like looking, and it's like, okay, this picture was... There are two different pictures taken from different angles, but I'm like, but the background is different in both of the pictures, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you're seeing off to the left is like, it's one shot head on, like as if I'm looking at you, and then one coming right to left. And the ones that are coming right to left don't show, like, there was a ladder there, and now there's like something else in the place of the ladder. You understand what I'm saying? Like a lighting rig. And it's them in the same position. It's them in the same exact position. Like fake floating, because, they say like the floating and all that stuff and the zero Gs and stuff, they can mimic that in front of a green screen, which is like, I don't know how the fuck you would be able to do that. You know what I mean?
I mean, they do it in the movies all the time.
Well, yeah, but you know how they do that? It's an airplane, dude.
Not in the movies.
Not in the movies.
No, they're not gonna
No, I
fly
mean
the
it's
actors off. I'm
suspension. It's
saying,
suspension wires and shit like
yeah,
that. No, but
you like
like
movies like the Expanse and For All Mankind, and you wouldn't be able to tell that wasn't not in space.
right. But well, actually, like if you watch, what's the one with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney?
Gravity.
Gravity. Okay, so in Gravity, like when she's experiencing zero G inside, not being like on the spacewalk part, right? But inside the vessel, like you could see the difference between how they make somebody's hair look like on a NASA feed or how it looks like in Hollywood, and you could clearly see the effort to try to make it look like her hair is weightless, but it actually does have weight to it. You know what I mean? And then you could see her hair when she was just out there. Her hair just stayed in one place.
Which is very strange. Wouldn't you put a hair tie in? Wouldn't you?
Well, I
Or it
said
just
this.
never gets in your face because it never moves.
Well, I said this a while ago because you remember that lady that was stuck up there for a while in the
Yeah, and her
space
hair got
station.
wild.
Yeah, and I was like saying like, okay, if your hair's growing out, right, and like you shed,
Yeah.
wouldn't that fuck up the instruments?
Well, I mean, the recent one is the toilet froze. Didn't the toilets freeze when they were up there? They're
Yeah,
home now, but
they got stuck with no toilet for 40 minutes, I think, right? That's what it was. The toilets weren't working for 40 minutes. That would have sucked if they didn't have a toilet at all after that point. Because they all had, I know they had like a little
so hold on. So
enclosure.
the screen wasn't black, right? It was just I wasn't there, but you saw my name tag.
Yes.
And they want to know what name it was. I have to say dipshit was the name, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. I'm talking to someone. The screen wasn't black. They could just see the background image.
And themselves.
Sorry, you guys. We're very entertaining right now as we're trying to figure out the issues we were having. Next video.
Yo, stop writing them letters on them fucking mailboxes like I'm about to read it. You ain't reading that shit. Say that shit for a mail carrier that's gonna read it. Cause it's not gonna be me. Bitch, I'm gonna put these packages in your mail wherever the fuck mailbox I feel like putting it in. Yo, stop writing them letters on them fucking mailboxes like I'm about to read it. You ain't reading that
So
shit.
what is she?
Shit for a mail carrier that's
A
gonna
CCA
read.
is a temporary job at the post office as a carrier.
Okay.
Your mail. So basically, what happens is you get the routes that like the guy's out sick that day, the guy's on vacation, or you help.
You cover shifts. Yeah.
It's a shitty job, but I mean, you only have to do it for usually a year before you get a route.
Right.
It's a shitty job. So she's doing that kind of a route. So in other words,
What is she talking about though?
So I worked for the post office for 7 months, 6 months. Anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
I was a carrier, and this is before they had these positions, so I was full time immediately.
Yeah.
And so basically, when you're delivering to some buildings, they're ghetto as shit, and their
Right.
mailboxes might not be real mailboxes, and you'll have mailboxes that have notes written on them like, "This is 7A," even though 7A doesn't exist, and you're like, "Where the fuck is who's 7A?" And then they'll put their name in like a lot of times they won't be like officially name tagged. They'll like scratch.
Like they should be.
Yeah, they'll
Right.
scratch the name into the paint or something. It's like all these makeshift things they do. So she's
Right.
basically saying, "I'm not going to do these makeshift bullshit for you. If it's your mailbox, it goes in your mailbox." She's not technically wrong, but you do have to go out of your way to make sure it's the right mailbox.
I had friends who lived in buildings who instead of because that little paper, whatever, like that you'd put your name on, like Mr. Smith,
Yep.
apartment 2A,
Yep.
right?
That's
Like
what I'm talking about.
that shit would always fall out,
Yep.
right? So I had friends who lived in buildings. This wasn't in my building because it was like my building was so old that it had like the actual brass numerical number of my apartment still on it. You know what I mean? But like in a
Yeah.
lot of the newer buildings, I think like the NYCHA buildings and shit like that. I had friends
Wow. Nice building.
who they who had like key scratched
Yep.
their their um their apartment number and the name into the metal of the box, the aluminum box. And it was just okay, that takes care of that problem. That's not going nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
that's
Like a lot of
yeah,
times it'll be a makeshift name tag, and it's like I don't know who the fuck this is. Like I was delivering mail, so one of the guys went out on vacation or he got hurt, and so I took over his route, and his route was notoriously fucking shitty. It was in Alphabet City. A lot of the buildings were fucked up mailboxes that don't have labels, not even like room numbers or anything,
right.
and fucking annoying things like that. So you would be very confused. So I was going to one house and I'm like, okay, there's 4 people that live here, but I keep getting all this mail for people that don't fucking live here.
Right.
So I kept putting it on like in the back of the office. You could put it somewhere where it's miscellaneous. I don't know where it goes. Return to
Yeah.
sender, and then
Yeah.
eventually gets sent back to return to sender.
Yes.
And he came back from vacation. He goes, "Hey, how come these people in this building told me they haven't been getting their mail in like 2 weeks?" And he shows me the names. I'm like, "Yo, there is no 5A." He's like, "Yeah, there is." I'm like, "There's 4 tenants there." He goes, "There's 2 illegal apartments in the basement." I'm like, "Well, where's the mailboxes?" He goes, "No, you gotta slide it into the basement shaft." I'm like,
How are you supposed to know that though?
"That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. It's and they're basically saying, nah, it's going in the mailbox. If your name's on it, it's going in there. Blah 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 blah."
Okay.
She got fired for this, but she's not like. Let me just verify.
Because it's not going to be me. Bitch, I'm going to put these packages in your mail wherever the fuck mailbox I feel like putting it in.
It's a little no. You can't put it in
Stop
whichever
writing them
mailbox you
letters on
want.
them fucking mailboxes like I'm about to read it. You're not even reading that shit.
So
Say
she
that
might
shit.
be just talking about the labeling on the mailboxes. That's you got to put them in the right fucking thing.
Oh, so she's just opened whatever box and stuffing
Yeah,
three B's mail into fucking seven C's, right?
That's bad news bears. That's not how you do that, lady.
Nah, there's not. And plus, she's not like in any sort of gear. Are you allowed to?
Oh, I delivered
ship
mail in a tank top and basketball shorts. They never gave me a uniform. They never gave me a uniform.
So when you first start at the post office, they don't give you a uniform
Nope.
right away or a name tag
You eventually get a
or a hat.
Nope.
What about a carrier bag with the
I had
U.S.
a cart, one of those push carts. Yeah. That was the only thing.
Yeah.
I've had people ask me and go, "Hey,
Did you rob the mail?
are you sure you work for the post office?" To go, yes, I'm actively delivering your mail.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, I'm putting the mail in the back boxes.
Yo, in my old neighborhood, there was a neighborhood crackhead, as you have in New York City, that I guess like the mail carrier would like leave the cart outside, like you do. Like you leave the cart outside, you grab the mail for that building, you go in to the vestibule in the building, and then you load up whatever the boxes are with the mail. The crackhead took this guy's cart and just continued his route. Like, and went building to building, dropping off mail and packages as if he was the mail carrier in full crackhead regalia.
That's interesting.
Like, he didn't steal it. Like, okay, yes, he stole it. He commandeered the mail carrier cart, but he didn't steal the mail for himself. He still gave everybody their. Everybody got their mail that day. Probably got it a little quicker too, because he was high on crack. But he still took the cart, rolled away with it, and then continued to jam everybody's mailboxes up.
Wow.
If there were only 4 astronauts on the Artemis mission, then who was filming this video? And who directed the camera towards the Earth like that? Isn't that concerning? If there were only 4 astronauts on the Artemis mission, then who was filming this video?
It was a drone. It was a drone.
You think?
Yes.
They have
yes.
Who directed the camera towards
it's an automated. Yes, it's an automated fucking drone that filmed the whole thing. They had their own Nikon cameras to take pictures out of the portholes, but there was to film like what NASA's feed back When you see all 4 of them and they're saying hi, it's a little drone with a camera on it that's hovering around that is, I think, controlled by Houston.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they could put a rover on the moon and fucking remote control car that shit around, they could do the same thing with the drone in a space capsule. So
they're like arguing, not arguing. They're just saying they're watching the stream now. By the way, StreamYard is officially watching the stream to figure.
Oh wow!
Not StreamYard, excuse me. Oh my god, they're gonna cancel us now.
No.
Restream.
Restream.
Sir, please don't talk about us while we're helping you. No, I didn't mean to do that.
What are you doing?
Wait, I just made fun of Restream and that madness just happened. That's so weird.
You didn't hit that by accident?
I don't think so. But what is this madness that I'm watching?
It's in Poland. It's in Poland. But yeah, it's a viral video from Poland.
Viral video from Poland.
Yeah, it's a pack of boars that are going through some town. And they have some automaton that's chasing them. Now, why do these things always have backpacks on? Have you noticed that? Like, they all have backpacks.
Yeah, is that the battery?
You figure that the battery wouldn't be in a fabric backpack. But there you go. There's your use for AI, guys. To chase pigs around. All right, so in the news this week.
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
Mr. President, are another...
So he shared that?
On Truth Social, I think, and then it went viral. And 2 things. One thing, I've never seen a doctor in 2,000-year-old peasant robes, right? That's number 1. And then number 2, I think one of his, somebody said to say that it was doctored, and all he could remember was the word doctor. And then he just rolled with that.
No.
I totally fucking believe that, because it's just it seems like he's not the greatest listener. So he probably, as he's like, all right, what are we going to do about this? Like sitting in the room, he's like, all right, what are we going to do about this? Everybody's pissed off about the Jesus picture. And then somebody goes, Mr. President, you could just say that it's doctored. He's like, all right, I'm a doctor. Okay, I'll say that. And that he's not fully listening to what the other person's saying. Because otherwise, like, where do you get doctor from this other than he's obviously, he's got his hand on... He has his hand on fucking...
Well, he is healing him with the power of America, apparently, or something. I don't know. What,
And he's beefing with the Pope, so all of this, all in one shit sandwich in 1 week, doesn't look good at all. Yeah.
Do you think someone on Trump's team was like, hey, ChatGPT, and does this, and goes, hey, Trump, look what I made. Send that to me. Like, Trump, send that to me. Or post it. Trump's
social media team definitely does what you do with our thumbnails every week for this. That's what all of these are. And I think the surge of a lot of these, like, AI Gronk generated images, right, are like an answer to I believe it's somewhere in Southeast Asia. There's an Iranian embassy that a lot of these AI generated Lego videos. You remember the Lego videos we were playing a few weeks ago?
Yep.
Okay. So there's one that just came out this week where it's like a Lego person, Trump, but it's a pig dressed like Trump and like fucking with Iran and stuff like that. So I think it's like a call and answer. There's like, oh, if you want to do AI, we could do AI too, because it's always like, you know, even during the campaign, like back in 24, you know, we were posting, you know, and pulling up images and stuff like that. The internet was flooded with hilarious AI generated images of Trump and Biden and, you know, all that crap. And to be quite honest with you, you know, like right now when he was like commenting the doctor shit, I sort of feel like he's having a good day and there's good days and bad days because he sundowns a little bit. You know what I mean? After a certain point, he reaches like exhaustion and he's starting to go the Biden route, I think, mentally. You know what I mean?
He's old. They're all old. Get these old people out of politics. I mean, it's getting fucking like. It's just done. I'm done.
As I say all the time, dude. 65, the limit to run. You cannot run if you are of retirement age. I don't think you could run for office, and I think there should be a hard out. Like you have to retire once you're 65 and still in office. You know what I mean? But power doesn't want to give up power, you know, but that's not the whole way our system's set up. Our system's set up to have, you know, a change every so often, fresh new ideas, you know? Like the whole idea of this country was to be fresh new ideas constantly. And I mean practical ideas. I don't mean crazy ideas. You know what I mean? And they're supposed to be voted upon. You know what I mean? Like going to war with another country. You know what I mean? That's something that should be, you know, passed in Congress, the Senate, the public. You know what I mean? And you know, like obviously you hear people like Dave Smith and stuff like that saying that this is the most unpopular war going in. You know what I mean? Which it might be. It might be way more unpopular than Vietnam was going in.
I want to point out, though, which is kind of funny and hypocritical at the same time, a lot of these people that are saying, oh, my God, why are we doing this to Iran, are the same people that were saying we got to go to our war with Iran. Just when, like, Biden was in office, they're like, we got to do something about Iran. We got to do something about them. And now it's like, wait, what are we doing? No. We can't do this.
Well, it's like you being in a group of dudes and you got two rival dudes in a group and the one dude sees the other dude like hitting on a girl and be like, no, don't get with her. She's not good for you. And then when you know, like sort of fall off on that, then they go after that girl.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's all like they wanted to be the ones to do it. So obviously they're going to talk shit. Like, it's like, no, don't buy that Corvette. Don't buy that Corvette. I heard they suck. And then after you go and you buy a fucking another car, then you go out yourself and buy a Corvette because you didn't want to have a Corvette because they had a Corvette. You didn't want to do what they want to do. You wanted to do it first. You know what I mean? Like the quintessential proverbial one-upper friend, you know, kind of shit. You know what I mean? So they wanted to be the ones to do it. I think either way you slice it, we were going to go to war with Iran. Like, either way. Like, it was going to happen. Like, it was going to happen. No matter what, it was going to happen. If we were going to go to war, like, and we did. When we went to war in Afghanistan and Iraq, I think, I'm not totally sure that Afghanistan was a pre-plan, but Iraq was definitely a pre-plan. You know what I mean? Because we had already been there 10 years earlier. You know what I mean? So it's, you know what I mean? It's like, no matter who's in office, whether it's Democrat or Republican, the military-industrial complex is still going to want to do what the military-industrial complex wants to do. Pretty much.
Do you think that the band 311 thanks God every day that it happened in September and not March? Do you think that the band 311 thanks God every day that it happened in September and not March? Do you think that the band 311...
Wow.
Yo,
wow.
It would have sucked, right, for them because they did maintain. I mean, they weren't at their most popular when 9/11 happened, although they were still very popular. I think I seen them live, in like the late 90s. It was like 98, and they were fucking huge back then. 96, 97, 98, they were huge.
Were they ever actually huge?
I think they were. I mean, amongst like the alternative, like if like it wasn't unheard of that you would be like, hey, what are your favorite bands? And then somebody would be like, oh man, I really like, like Green Day and 311. Like you would hear that in the same breath from people who listen to that kind of music.
Maybe. It's like, to me, 311 is like the band Sum 41. It's like no one really liked them.
But wait a minute. Hold on a second. Now, you understand there's a 4-year age gap between me and you. So there's like, when I left high school, you were just coming in as a freshman. So you got to understand, in 1996, 95, when 311 came out with that song Down Down, right?
Yeah, you heard it everywhere, every 4 seconds on 92.3 K-Rock.
And then you remember a few years later, they did that Cure cover. I will always love you, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So
they had like 4 very big radio hits.
Yes, they weren't a one-hit wonder at all. Like, but
4, 5, maybe 4.
But they had a following. So in 9/11, they were still touring and they were still doing all of the festivals.
Would you say Bush was a bigger band than 311?
Yes, worldwide, 100%. In the United States, I want to say they were about even.
I think Bush only has like one good album.
What, the one with Glycerine on it and Everything's Zen?
I don't think it's even the album that's on. Hold on.
Well, they had in the 90s, they had like 3 albums, I think, that came out.
I think it is. No, it's not that fucking shit. What the fuck is it? Yeah, 16 Stone.
That's the one with.
Is that Glycerin?
Yeah, and Everything's Zen, and what else? There were a couple of songs on that album.
Everything's Zen, Swim, Little Things, Come Down.
Little Things. Oh, the little things that kill. Right? Yeah. Come back down from this cloud. Yeah, so they had like 5 hits off that record.
Machine Head.
Yeah.
There's no sex in vibe. I'm going to listen to Bush tomorrow, and I'm going to listen to Every Time I Die. Yes, 2 very big different things.
No, but it's not uncommon that you wouldn't find somebody who listens to Every Time I Die actually like Bush, though. That's a possibility.
Yo, I liked Every Time I Die, and I mean, it's
sad what happened to them. Yeah. Lead singers ruin everything.
They do. They do.
and I was the lead singer of like 4 bands. I didn't ruin shit. All those bands sort of just fizzled.
But I was gonna say it's not even. Yes. It's not all of them. Clearly, I was gonna say it's not. No,
but there's a real thing called lead singer's disease, right? And let me just say this. I was probably, out of my whole little scene in Brooklyn, probably the more humble of the lead singers that came out of Brooklyn or even New York City. You know what I mean? Lead singers had the biggest egos and thought who they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't a pretty boy, then you were a bully. Or you were just maybe not outwardly bullyish, but you were definitely very arrogant and condescending.
And
you know what I mean?
These bands now.
Well, none of them are anywhere.
I remember a band that Lamore is called.
There's only one. There's only one of those leads.
Yes,
yes. Their lead singer at the time was sort of arrogant, I want to say, at the time,
yeah.
But the guy Spider, who was their guitar player, he's the dude who used to wear the masks and stuff like that. Everybody said he thought he was Wes Borland. People have their influences, which is fine. It was the age.
I know a girl that banged him.
I'm sure I know a bunch.
Yeah, I know. I think I specifically remember now one that. Yeah.
Anyway. I know one for sure by name who did.
Oh boy.
I know one who slept with multiple members of that band.
Is it the same one we know?
Does her name start with a D?
No.
Okay, the one that I know, her name starts with a D.
Yeah, mine starts with a. Hold on, what does her name start with? Oh my god, what's her name? Oh my god, what's her name?
And the only reason why
Is it what it be?
I know is because she used to gloat about, you know what I mean? Like there were girls that like unjustly had rumors spread about them. Like that's true.
Yes.
There were douchebags, assholes,
Absolutely.
mean girls
But
who
there
would
were
spread
girls.
rumors about girls, but there were girls who wore it like a badge of honor.
There were
who would
dirty girls. Oh my lord.
or we would just, they were the quintessential groupie who that's what they were there for. They were
Well, I
there
remember
because of the clout.
Me and Lou are at a venue in Philadelphia. I forgot what venue it was, but it was like a giant warehouse. And of course, Every Time I Die was there because they play every show. They played every show.
Yeah.
And we were like online for the merch, and the lead singer's there. And this hot blonde chick goes in front of all of us on the line, goes all the way to the front, and goes, "Can I go back with you?" And he goes, "Let's go." And they just walk away together.
Yeah, that happened a lot. That would happen.
She was like blonde, like giant fake tits. It was like the whole
Yeah.
quintessential,
Yeah, I mean,
and Lou's like, that was the most epic thing I ever saw. And I was like, would it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if that was his wife and he just plans it to make himself look cool?
no, because there was definitely another, like that he wrote songs about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and it's not uncommon.
Oh, he was like the pretty boy singer in a heavy band.
Let me tell. Yeah,
he wasn't like the guy from August Burns Red who was like jacked and bald and like.
Just from my own personal experience, right? If you were not speaking only, right? Because if you're speaking, people just hate you, right? But if you get up and you sing or do vocals or rap, right? The cult of personality is a real fucking thing. And you may not get the whole crowd to follow your little cult of arrogance, but you will get a bunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That will like hang on your every word. That'll just be, oh wow, they're on stage. Like being 4 feet above everybody sort of makes you, like people get this perception like you're different and you're not. You know what I mean? I never fell into that, but probably because I had such crippling self-esteem issues.
Well,
that it kept me down to a level. So I was
being humble is very important,
right? So I started out so low that being the lead singer of a band. Well, one of them I was the lead. Well, 2 bands I was the lead singer for 7 years for both of them, and 7 years and then 7 years again. And in both of those bands, and which I had some great shows. Like, I'm not going to say like we were the greatest band, but the thing is, like, I was in a couple of pretty good bands and talented guys, and I love playing with them, and women, men and women. I love playing music with them, and so like when I went up there, it raised my self-esteem to a normal level because I was so fucking low, in the dumps about myself. But there were people who already came into it hot, like who were just like thought the world of themselves before they even picked up a microphone. And then I knew people who had a lot of false self-confidence that could talk a big game that you knew maybe had self-esteem issues, but then got like, and those people got like tyrannical once they got any sort of praise.
Did it just happen again?
It flashed in and out, and it said, "Oops, lost connection," which I know that's not true because my Wi-Fi signal is on full.
So what? But you could see me though.
100%. Yeah, you didn't black out this time.
This is what usually happens before the blackout, and StreamYard said we need to both make sure our browsers are up to date. What browser?
100%. I'm on Firefox, and it's always up to date. I literally updated it this week. And you understand, like, I work from home. I primarily do Zoom meetings, WebEx meetings, and Teams, Microsoft Teams. All of them were running fine this week. And we're on Wednesday. I've done 6 meetings so far.
Well, it might not be the browser it might be the browser with the I don't know.
But it's Firefox, bro. It's Firefox. So anyway, speaking about blacking out, could we just bring this one thing up? And maybe I didn't send you an article, but this is all over the news. It was on CNN. It was on Fox. It was on MS. It was on everything, right? So I guess, I don't know, is he the head of FEMA? or he's one of the higher ups in FEMA, claims that he was teleported to a Waffle House. Did you hear about this?
FEMA teleport.
Yes.
Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Waffles.
Why do stories like this always have to end up in a Waffle House? Because the thing is, I'm pretty sure we've had UFO like abduction stories that we've spoken about where the person ends up at a Waffle House at the end of it. Why do these things end up at a Waffle House? Why Waffle House? Why? Can somebody explain that to me?
Is this it? Is this
Greg Phillips? Yes. Yes, his name is Greg Phillips, and he's with FEMA, and he still hasn't lost his job. Trump said it's just weird and didn't fire him. But let's hear Ronnie Chang talk about it for a second.
No, just make it full screen. What the fuck you doing?
No volume.
Why can't I hear you? Why can't
the head of FEMA's Office of Response and Recovery? Now, in a normal administration, we would go the entire presidency without ever knowing who's the head of FEMA's Office of Response and Recovery. But, you know, this is Trump. So instead, we get shit like this.
Greg Phillips. He was on a podcast in January of last year, during which he claimed more than once that he's teleported, including one time to a Waffle House.
Okay, wait, hang on, everybody, wait. Just time out in America. Give me a time out here. This dude teleported to Waffle House? Okay, look. He must be joking, right? You know, like when you tell everyone that you're Jesus, it's just a joke.
I was with my boys one time, and I was telling I was going to go to Waffle House and get Waffle House. And I ended up at a Waffle House. This is in Georgia. And I ended up at a Waffle House like 50 miles away from where I was. They said, "Where are you?" I said, "A Waffle House." And they said, "Waffle House where?" And I said, "Waffle House in Rome, Georgia." They said, "That's not possible. You just left here like a moment ago."
Okay. Was he just blackout drunk? Is that how he teleported? Remember we watched the video of the guy teleporting by drinking?
It was that skit. That skit was hilarious, dude. That skit was hilarious because he's like, "Oh no, wait a minute! He could travel in like forward in the future, or he could teleport." Oh, he teleported, right? Didn't he end up in Poland? He ended up in Poland at the end of it, right? So at the end of that skit, he ends up in Poland. So that's what I'm saying now. I don't know. You see, like this guy is sort of in that podcast, right? Doesn't he seem a little faded? I mean, he does seem a little faded.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if there's because it would have automatically come out. Like the thing is, like if you're like an alcoholic and in office, and these things happen, like often the story will come out that you have a problem with drugs and alcohol. Like that will be what comes out. So apparently. There's no talk of him having any alcoholism problems or drug problems, but he has cancer, and he takes ivermectin and a bunch of other stuff that he is administering himself, like self-prescribed, right?
Ooh. So
he's taking a bunch of stuff self-prescribed. So something tells me that the culprit is probably whatever the fuck he's taking.
Drugs. Are you saying it's the drugs?
Yeah.
It's the drugs for once?
Yes, but he's claiming that his sons said that, wait, but you were just here. How the hell did you end up 50 miles away? Now, he probably did end up in a Waffle House, and he probably was blackout, and he probably wasn't where he in that podcast says he was. Like, I totally doubt that. I hate to be the practical one here because I love ridiculous shit. And half the stuff that we do, Mike, is just entertaining, right? The idea that the far out could possibly be possible, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if it's my old age and I'm just like sort of have a low tolerance for just the hyper ridiculous, because that's hyper ridiculous. Now, they can in real news, right? I think they have, if I'm not mistaken, they have in experiments teleported antimatter from one place to another. And I believe that happened pretty recently, like in the last 2 weeks. Damn, why does my
Teleport
fucking my chair keeps lowering?
That's kind of funny.
I hate this shit.
In a world first, CERN scientists successfully transported 92 antiprotons by truck in March 2026, marking the first physical transportation of antimatter. No teleporting. All right, so maybe I made that up, or maybe I just believed a TikTok that I shouldn't have, which is starting to happen, and that's something else, dude. About TikTok, and the TikToks do work really good on this show, right? They're pretty much seamless. Well, hold on. It does. TikTok does go smooth. I mean, if we like, what I think we should do, like, YouTube's another very good one. YouTube and TikTok have the best setup for what we do.
Right.
Facebook is okay, but I have to make Facebook full screen, and then it does it the right way.
Right.
So what you might have confused is they transported antimatter for the first time ever.
Not teleported. Maybe I did. Because it's a 1-minute video, and my attention span is fucking shrunk when I'm fucking doom scrolling. So that could be it. Because there's always a logical answer, right? So what I was gonna say about TikTok is that two things, right? Because I do want to make the transition to where I'm just sending you TikToks for us to react to instead of the reels and the shorts. But the thing is that my algorithm is so stacked on Instagram that it gives me all of the fuel for ridiculous shit to send you.
All you have to start doing is finding a little bit of a pain in the ass, but finding all the people that you follow on Instagram, on TikTok.
Which I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I follow all of them. But the thing is, my algorithm, since I don't remember, when did I join TikTok? It was like the end of last year. I don't think I put enough time into TikTok for TikTok to know what kind of ridiculous shit I want to watch. So what it does is two things, right? It gives me a boatload of all of that staged rage bait bullshit. Like, oh, didn't know that this black man was a cop, but this cop still pressed him, even though he didn't send him his badge. It's clearly an acted out skit, right? And there's all these things like Karen loses her shit when she gets her order wrong.
It's not very good.
And I'm like, it's not reliable. It's all rage bait bullshit. And I'm like,
let's see. We have a few good TikToks though. Like this one was good. What's this one?
Do you guys think there's any chance that the craft is flown with somebody's mind, some sort of mental interface?
It could very well be.
Yeah.
Because there was obviously no physical controls to it.
Right.
When the craft was being tested, the only test I saw from close range, it was already out of the hangar. And when I went into the hangar, the bay doors between all the hangars were open. They had big, there's the door that leads to the outside that's at an angle, but there's also big bay doors between all the hangars. Those were open for some reason. And when I came in to go witness that, I was able to look down and see that, boy, there's 9 of them all the way down there.
Do you guys think there's any chance that the craft is flown with some?
So, do you remember Flight of the Navigator? We brought this up on the podcast before. That old Disney movie from back in the day. I think, didn't the kid control that ship with his mind? Like, it wasn't like a steering wheel or anything like that. There was a robot, right? Not a robot, but there was like an AI interface in the ship. And the ship was silver. It looks a lot like crazy that they came up with this design back then that looks exactly like what everybody describes as a UAP now.
Yeah,
it's able to move through the air, the water, all that shit. It's a little too spot on, and I know that like with Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Spielberg had consultants that had some experiences. Right? Or claim to have had experiences.
Yes, absolutely. And I think government is consultants too.
But the thing is, also like for me to get this video, right, it took 5 times the amount of doom scrolling on TikTok than it does for me on Instagram. Like Instagram, I could go on, and on every third video is I stop and I watch it twice, and on the third video, because it might be worthy enough for me to put on the show, right?
Yeah.
And I may not send it because I'm like, nah. There might be better. And if I can't find better, I'll scroll back and then send that because that might be the best out of 10. TikTok, it was like, dude, I had to scroll past so much bullshit and a lot of my own bullshit because I do like pimple pop videos and I do like grass cutting videos. So it's ASMR to me. What are you gonna do, right? I'm a basic bitch. But the thing is, it's so many of those before I even get to any of the even rage bait bullshit. And then I got to scroll past all the rage bait bullshit before I get like an officer involved shooting, which is probably the closest thing to anything that I would probably, like send you.
Oh no. Where'd it go?
Yeah, TikTok is definitely like, I like it better like when you play the TikToks.
Everything's failing. There we go.
But we're still here though.
What happened to this? Why does this look like the way it does?
So, being the last video is a pretty decent segue to this. There's that new documentary coming out in May that I sent you the. What is it called? Sleeping Dogs? Wait, let me pull up.
Hold on. Everything has failed. Give me a second.
Let me pull up the text.
We are back. I fixed it somewhat.
Yes, the documentary is called Sleeping Dog.
Yes, I have no idea what that's about.
I think it's about not Bob Lazar, but his name comes up in the documentary. It's the other guy. What's the other guy's name? That's always on Rogan.
Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy
Corbell. That's it. Yeah, it's the documentaries I think centered around him.
What's it called again?
Sleeping Dog. And it comes out May 14th or May 12th or something like that. I don't know what platform it's coming out on.
Is there a trailer for it?
Yes, there's a trailer for it. Yes. But the trailer that I watched was on TikTok, and it was like 3/4 of this guy's face and then the trailer and a thin thing on the bottom, and I didn't want to show that. It might be better if we found like a YouTube.
God damn it.
Yep, Jeremy Corbell. Are you okay, Mike?
It's not playing for you?
No.
Oh.
I used to have
Go.
Your journalistic credentials mean jack shit. If you look in the 70s and 80s with the CIA, they used to have reporters on their payroll. They don't respect anybody.
Corbell is an investigative journalist who helped obtain and release the DoD footage of UFOs.
I've been holding a secret for about 11 years, and it's going to be extremely public. It's not a video of an alien. It's not a video of one crowd. It's more than that.
Years ago, I went searching for the truth about UFOs. And I found it.
He was the most curious kid ever.
The first person that I pointed a camera at was John Lear.
John Lear, son of the famed aviation pioneer and a world-class pilot.
The government has between 30 and 50 alien bodies.
Cold called his phone, and he picked up. I want to bring, a camera, and then how open he was with me.
This was not part of my game plan at all.
Flying saucers, flying discs of extraterrestrial origin.
The evidence is very strong. They've been here and are here.
It's an Alice in Wonderland planet. Very few people will ever find the truth. But everybody is looking for the truth. And a lot of people think that they found the truth. But that's impossible.
I'm like the least qualified person on planet Earth. One thing I am is I am worthy of your trust.
If you really have stuff that is that sensitive that you cannot release, you're relying on your connection as a journalist, they're not going to come after you, not only you, they're going to come after your family. If I die, this story comes out.
It would represent one of the largest leaks in American history.
I don't know what to do, man. Is it worth it?
Yes. Yes, it's worth it.
Yeah, no, but like
to who?
To me.
I almost feel like okay, what if all these guys are just grifters and the big secret is just the government secret? It's not. It's the government doing shit. It's not aliens, and the whole thing is, you know what I mean? Like it seems like a grift.
Okay, it seems
the
like a
amount of
grift.
shit that they keep. It's like
It seems like a grift, but however, right? You know, when you have other foreign nations that have all of the same conspiracy shit. Is it Russia conspiring with the United States to do all this and then be adversaries with us, like economically and, as a world power? Like, I doubt that. You know what I mean? I doubt that, since it's other countries that seemingly may be at odds with us on other things, want to be friendly about this. Like, I doubt that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole having 50 alien bodies, like it seemed okay. Even though, like, for years I did believe that yes, these UAPs, these UFOs, these like objects that are flying through the sky is some sort of extra technology. It's not the technology that we're using, and it's so far advanced. Wherever the fuck it's from, and then the idea of aliens for me, or life forms from another planet, was like a separate thing. Like, I was able to compartmentalize it. You know what I mean? But the thing is that it's starting to mesh a lot more together for me because of and I don't know if it's a product of the state of the world right now. Is maybe what's influencing me. I don't know, right? But it's just like when I'm like hyper focusing on this, I'm like, there's a possibility that we fucking, because you get people who say we've met with them. You get people that say we're holding,
there's so
bodies.
many old conspiracies about government officials meeting the aliens, and there's so many. There's so many that there has to be some truth to some of it. There has to be, But let's see what this next TikTok video is.
A deadline from a lawmaker tonight who is asking for the release of 46 videos of what the government calls unidentified aerial phenomena, or UFOs, by tomorrow.
So you have your standard understanding of what would be able to function in this time and space continuum. And then you have these things that are just kind of operating outside of that. And what they tend to call these things are interdimensional.
They are specific videos with titles like several UAP
do.
in vicinity of Columbus, Ohio
Very
airport,
strange.
UFOs in formation over Persian Gulf, and Syrian UAP instant acceleration. All referenced in a letter from Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Luna explaining her urgency, writing, "The potential national security threat they pose is troubling."
There are many people in government that we come across that will come up to us, some in various high-level positions, that have said, look, we've seen these things, or, we definitely think they're real. We just don't want to be labeled as crazy.
The UFO phenomenon moving from the fringe.
This is just the beginning.
To the mainstream.
The technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had, and there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing.
In large part after a bombshell 2017 New York Times report titled Glowing Auras and Black Money, the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program that detailed a secret $22 million UFO program in the Pentagon to investigate reports of unidentified flying objects.
Yep.
One of the more debated UFO stories centers around a piece of footage linked to Area 51 researcher Chuck Clark. According to Clark, the tape shows a glowing object filmed near the Nevada desert. But here's where it gets controversial. Clark has refused to release the full footage, saying he promised not to distribute it. Years later, Logan Paul said he tried to buy the tape for $100,000, and when that failed, he claims he secretly recorded it while watching. He's also said he later showed that recording to Bob Lazar, though there's no public release or confirmation of what was actually seen. One of the more debated UFO stories.
Sounds like a bullshit.
Yeah. Now the whole thing that they're switching this up, and like as of recent years, and the whole interdimensional like thing, because this is like, I feel like if I say interdimensional, I feel like Alex Jones saying it. But the thing is, like, people say that, and then you get JD Vance saying that it's demons, which I just feel like that's like a primitive excuse.
Not just JD Vance, Tucker Carlson too.
Right. And, but I believe that comes from a deeper religious influence as an explanation, because the thing is, it's like, how are you going to explain angels and demons?
I think it's the opposite. I think that's what they were writing about because they couldn't understand what they were witnessing.
Yeah, chariots of fire, all that shit, in Indian like mythology and all that stuff, and in other parts of the world, like it's like, okay, well, this is just this primitive civilization's explanation for something that they could not explain, right? Yeah. And I think we're still doing that. Like, we still can't explain it. So something like interdimensional, like you know what I mean? Like somebody calling it a demon is definitely, it sounds like just a way for that person specifically to comprehend it, because they can't comprehend it.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's 100% what I think as well. I mean, let's see what this next video is. Is more UFO
I spent
stuff.
$1,300 at Uchiko.
I tip usually 100%.
And then Nobu right after that for $1,700. Okay, you're a sushi guy.
100%.
How many people are you bringing for $750?
I was with one person and we said, "Can I have everything on the menu?"
You just got really Asian there for a second.
Oh, the way in my mannerisms?
No, everything on the menu.
Everything. All right. Strike that from the record. Everything on the menu.
You spent $1,300 at Uchiko.
Wow.
I tip.
You sent me this guy's
100%.
channel.
And then Nobu right after that for $1,700.
So on TikTok, as soon as I got onto TikTok, this is like one of the first follows that I had, right? And he's I think he's like a financial auditor. He's like some sort.
I would probably go more twink, I assume.
It's not pausing.
I'm not.
I don't believe you.
I thought I was buying college, but I found out I
thought he was gay.
Me too. I still think he is.
My lived experience.
Now you let me pause it.
No, I just feel like there's a possibility.
It still won't let you pause it?
Than you realize, which is all.
There we go.
Okay, so he's one of the first follows that I had on TikTok, right? So I think he's like an accountant or some sort of, like a financial expert or something like that. He's also pretty young, right? But he pretty much shames everybody who comes on his show.
Yes, for the way they spend their money.
Right, which the thing is, like, I'm all on board for it, because a lot of people just need to like sort of know their limits, because I feel like the boomer generation didn't really do a good job teaching Generation X and the millennials how to spend their money and let them fend for themselves, except Gen X and the millennials were pretty much thrown into the fire and then learned how to survive financially, right? A lot of these Gen Zers, right, and late millennials don't know, because there's such a disconnect from any sort of, financial intelligence, right, or education, and none of it's taught in school here in this country.
No,
and it's that they just spend money like a teenager into adulthood. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like Caleb Hammer, I think is his name. I feel like, there's a necessity for people like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he calls everyone out and their ridiculous spending, and it's.
But the reason why I'm following him isn't really so much for that, because it's not like I'm learning anything new. It's like everything that he's yelling at these people about is like pretty much what I would be yelling to them about.
Hold on, let's see one more. Let's see one more from him.
But I like the way he rips into them, though.
I want you to save up $6 million as close as you can, and do not touch it. You got $300 in Pepe. You are gonna get with financial advisors. They manage my money. They're actually YouTubers called The Money Guy, but you're gonna give them $6 million throughout this year. They will manage your investments, so you can't touch it.
When do I get to touch it?
It's gaining 10% a year for the rest of your life.
But it's gaining all if I can't touch it. I feel it would be more worthwhile to invest into my brands, like my supplement brand or my clothing brand. Wouldn't it be a better return to go all in on that than capping myself to 10% at such a young age?
I can't say it's a better return because we don't know what the return's going to be. And that 10% is average. It's 10 to 12. You'll get 30% one year, lose one another year. I want you
Just,
to save up $6 million.
but invest the $6 million, and then you could take your 10% skim at the end of the year, and then continue to make money doing whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
It's if you have the $6 million, throw that into something, and then whatever money you make, because you'll continue to make money, then you could spend that wildly. But that $6 million is supposed to be your nest egg / your your security. You know what I mean? So that I'm pretty sure 10% that he's making, that $600,000 that he's making every year, will pay his bills, will pay his mortgage, will pay. You know what I mean? It'll cover
It's
that.
Never enough to
And then whatever else he makes off his fucking brands, then you could go and spend $1,700 at a fucking sushi restaurant. You know, but he's not getting that. He's thinking about the quick money now. It's like how gangbangers and drug dealers think when they're not financially savvy. Like the good drug dealers will be a drug dealer into their 40s and 50s and then retire early. You know what I mean? But a bad drug dealer will just wear all their money on them, blow their money, you know what I mean? And then be in the hole and then fucking get themselves caught because they get themselves in a desperate situation to where they have to sell more drugs and put themselves more on the map. You know what I mean? As a on the radar of law enforcement, right? So if he has all these legit businesses, right? Try to keep it legit, and it gives you legitimacy if you're investing it too. You know what I mean? People will see you and want to invest into your business more if they see that you're being smart with your own money. If you're not being smart with your own fucking money, nobody's going to want to give you their money because they know you're just going to be as stupid with their money as you are with your own.
And speaking of being stupid with money and whatnot, we are now financial advisors. Anyone out there who needs help, we charge $14.99 a month. It's a subscription plan.
And me and Michael just yell at you.
Yes.
And straighten you out. You know what I mean?
This video is for us, Ryan. This video is for us.
For $20 a month, we'll give you a slap. Sorry.
Although there were some MySpace photos or videos. No, photos, not videos.
Yeah, but the thing is, thank God MySpace is like buried like an Egyptian tomb. So, you know what I mean? It's not as easy to get onto it as like an old Facebook page that you had. You know what I mean? Since the platform is like sort of, disappeared.
Have you watched the Theo Von Joe Rogan podcast yet?
No, I haven't. Okay. I haven't. Not the newest one, the one that aired last week.
Here you go. Here's a clip. And
all right.
It seemed, just...
Theo Von's take on the current state of the world clearly seemed to hit a nerve with Joe Rogan.
Our government is not here to help the people. They've been compromised. But the crazy part is we're working to pay the taxes to keep them doing it. And that starts to make you feel sick. And I'm sick of rich people not putting their kids over in these wars and shit like that. It's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting politicians slurp on kids. It's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us. I don't know, man.
We gotta get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
I thought this was AI, by the way, because I didn't think he was going to say, I don't think he would say that to Theo. And then all of a sudden, I watched the episode, and he said that to Theo Von.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is flipped as of lately. Joe Rogan is flipped as of lately. Like, all the things that he would entertain, he doesn't entertain anymore. And a lot of people are saying he's compromised, or he has been compromised.
There was nothing to entertain there. It was all the shit that we actually believe. And he used to talk about it himself.
Yes, and he might even say, and that's the thing, he might be on a podcast with somebody else the next day and then say the same exact shit that Theo was saying, except without as much vigor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But Theo went in on this episode, like with this shit too.
This Joe Rogan and Theo Von clip, man, it's making people feel uncomfortable. I don't know why. It's the truth.
I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran, I was like, this can't be true.
And what about Lebanon now?
I know. Israel's invaded Lebanon. Yeah.
And it's like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
Well, they're trying to, supposedly, they're trying to stop the terrorists.
That's crazy, though, if you're the fucking terrorist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to stop them, you stand in front of the fucking mirror.
this conversation that Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn is having, I would say that's 70% of America.
Iran's a real enemy. You know, it's a different...
Are they an enemy to America?
Well, what they are is the largest country in terms of like state-sponsored terrorism. They're the largest sponsor of terrorism.
Think about what happened during January 6th. Right? A lot of Republicans here on the right, we felt like that election was stolen. And look what happened at the Capitol. Now, you see how pissed MAGA was. Now, think about it when tens of thousands of people have been bombed from a certain country. And then when you retaliate against that country, you're labeled the terrorist. Right. Who's the terrorist, really? We killed 170 schoolgirls over there. We're bombing bridges. Well, that was by mistake. That's still a terrorist act to kill innocent children. I don't know if it was a mistake. Yeah. That's a terrorist act. I mean, we would call it a mistake if something like that happened here. We would call it a terrorist attack, even though if the other countries say, oh man, we did it by mistake, we would still call that a terrorist attack. Yeah.
Well, it's just a scary time.
It's a scary time because people are willing to blow people up with drones and missiles, and they're shooting into apartment buildings and blowing up schools, and it's like, fuck, man.
It's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit. It has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting politicians slurp on kids. All of our money goes to Israel, and they're using it to genocide people. It's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us.
I used to be MAGA. I'm America first now. I'm not. That's what MAGA was supposed to be. I mean, I just call it like it is, man. It's just the things that come out of Trump's mouth, Kristi Noem's mouth, and this whole thing with the Epstein files. It's just one lie after another. But we are both totally against this war in Iran. Well, they know. Everybody know that. I just want to make it clear. This Joe Rogan.
When he said that to Theo, I was like, really, Joe? That's your boy. You don't really think? Come on.
Like, and he's on like, you know, because he has depression issues. Like, why would you tell somebody? You know what I mean? Like, there are okay. If you're going through grief because you have of a dead family member or a friend, and you're feeling depressed, Joe Rogan's methods on battling depression, yeah, works for that. But if you're just like, my baseline is suicidal, you got to be on fucking medication. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and like telling somebody like Theo Vaughn, who like has expressed that his baseline is fucked, right? He needs to stay on those meds. You know what I mean? That's bad advice. You know what I mean? And I understand like people have gotten on Joe Rogan's case for giving bad advice before, you know, but the thing is, like, if it's your friend, like, don't say shit like that. You know what I mean? Don't say like, no, don't take your meds. Like, you're fucking crazy, dude. You're crazy for saying that, because the thing is, it's like, you wouldn't be like, oh, you know, you could stop taking those cholesterol meds and your heart medication. You just got to go on this diet. It's like, no, motherfucker, this person's so deep in fucking heart disease, they have to stay on their fucking meds. You know what I mean? Like, it's at that point. This isn't like some fat kid who you're like, you could reverse this. It's like, if you're, you know what I mean? Like, Theo Vaughn's in his 40s and has been dealing and battling depression for decades, and he needs to be on those meds. And the thing is, like, he's not saying anything that's not clear thinking. To be like, hey, this world is fucked, and, you know, and to realize that is like, you know, yeah.
Hi, Zach, this is John from John Breaks Bad. Hi, Zach, this is John from John Breaks Bad News. I have some bad news from Erin for you.
Yeah.
They're only stepping in because they're genuinely trying to save your marriage. Your pickup lines are absolute garbage. No woman on earth has ever thought, wow, he said he wants to touch my uterus. That's the one. And while we're on the topic, if your wife ever has a yeast infection again, maybe don't say you want to open up a bakery in the bedroom. That's not flirting. That's a medical condition. Also, no one wants to hear you say you'd like your breakfast eggs fertilized.
Wow.
That sentence alone should get you permanently banned from romance. At this point, they're not even roasting you. They're offering a public service announcement. Thanks, Uncle Zach. Love, your wife's best friend.
Wow. Wow.
That's so funny. I've been sending her all those freaking videos from you, and she freaking calls it on me while I'm at work.
What do you do for a living?
Are you in a wind tunnel?
Yeah.
No, sorry. I make 18-wheeler truck parts.
You make AC units?
18-wheeler truck parts?
Oh, you make
18-wheelers.
18-wheeler
Truck parts.
Are they just driving
Truck
circles
parts.
around you?
truck parts.
They're just driving
it sounds
circles
like-
around.
No, there's machines behind them. There's
Yeah.
machines behind them.
Much better.
Gotcha. Yeah, I make 18-wheeler truck parts.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's why it's loud.
Yeah.
So, when your wife had a yeast infection, did you really say that you wanted to open up a bakery in the bedroom?
Say what?
When your wife had
Your wife had a yeast infection, and you said that you wanted to open up.
Oh, yeah. I like saying crazy shit to us.
Wow.
Sick.
I think it's funny.
Now, would you say that you're saying these things in the hopes that she gets horny, or are you saying these things for your own benefit because it makes you laugh?
It makes me laugh.
Thank God.
There you go. But Aaron, you have no idea what you're talking about. I say shit all the time. I was just talking about how, like, when we worked at the pet store. Number one, I've said multiple times tonight in front of my wife that I've blown my dad.
What?
To make my friend laugh.
What?
I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. This is pointless. All right. I'm sorry. You have a great one. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
He heard that.
But that's my point. Still stands. You know, a lot of times guys are saying stuff not because they think it's flirting or that they think it's going to like turn anybody on, but they just want to say the worst thing possible.
We know it sounds ridiculous. That's why we're saying it.
Yeah.
You see what happened
Yeah.
though?
I'm
This is a
fulfilling
YouTube. It's set up like a YouTube short because it's 3 minutes or 4 minutes long. It can't be uploaded as a short. So they put it as a regular video. YouTube needs to make it longer for shorts.
Oh, because the limit's 1 minute, right?
I forgot what the limit is, but I think it's a minute.
A minute and 30 seconds or something like that.
Hi, Kevin Hogg.
Yes.
Hi, this is John from John Breaks Bad News. I have some bad news from Michael Green for you. He wanted me to tell you, Kevin, as you know, Tammy and him have been in a very intimate and physical relationship for a while now. Things have a tendency of getting pretty steamy when they're together.
Wow.
Lately, they've been risking it all with the pull-out method. At your mom's request. Long story short, your mother and him are expecting. They are both very excited at the idea of bringing new life into this world and are going to keep the baby. They hope that you'll help them in providing a loving and caring environment for little Junior to grow up and thrive in.
Wow.
With love, your future brother's daddy.
I thought that you said there was bad news.
I guess he thought maybe this would be bad news for you, but you're gonna be a new brother, uncle.
Uncle.
You're making this up because I don't think you've talked to him because he knows me and he knows that I'd be sick about this.
He sent this to me. He definitely wanted me to call you. He paid me $5 to call you.
Yo, I want to pay him $5 to call someone.
That the person with his phone is him.
But it's got to be somebody who picks up, though.
What?
I'm now worried. I'm now a little worried.
Are you?
All right, I gotta call him now.
All right, give him a call. Maybe he's dead.
That's a good point. All right, bye.
All right, love you, bye. Hi, Kevin.
What?
Hello?
That's true.
Hello, Branton.
Hello.
Hi,
Yeah,
Branton.
they have
This
to
is
be a
John
minute
from John Breaks Bad News. I have some bad news from Everett and Corbin for you.
All right.
They wanted me to tell you that, hey, you're a great dad and all, but your teeth are starting to look like the rainbow, so you might want to lay off the crayons. You eating a lot of crayons there, bud?
Pretty much.
They taste good.
They do taste good.
Yeah, sometimes. Blue one's my favorite.
I like the purple
ones.
Yellow.
I like
You like
violet.
yellow?
Yeah, yellow's pretty.
I feel like
good.
yellow tastes like piss.
Wow.
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Not
All right, I love
banana. Or lemon.
Bye-bye.
And our last video of the evening, I present to you. You ready for this?
Yes, let's go.
watch the ball. Up, it fell. They're moving a little weird, aren't they, to be in space?
Yeah, but it did float the other way. You know, like centrifugal force.
I was just gonna say, we don't know the state of the
vessel.
ship,
Yeah.
the vessel. We don't know if it's just moving to create force, or if it's in orbit and spinning or rotating, whatever, to
Right.
give you a false gravity or something. Not false gravity because we don't have the technology yet,
Yeah.
technically, but you know what I mean. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's no resistance out in the middle of the vacuum of space, so it's like you'll spin just because things spin in space. So if something's spinning and something like that ball, the globe that he was holding, it's gonna drift to whatever the outside is if it's spinning. You know what I mean?
So
It could have easily have just gone up.
In Burbank, California.
In Burbank?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Wow.
Well, the stage is out there, I guess.
Isn't that where Kubrick filmed the original moon landing?
The moon landing, allegedly. Yeah, that's probably why they were bringing that up. On that note.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. Thanks for joining us on this week episode of Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. We will be back next Wednesday at 9:30 as per usual with a new episode with some more ridiculous shit to watch. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
Ryan.
Wu-Tang! Wu-Tang!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Peace out, everyone.
I am so Edward. See that Ryan doesn't know as I ate edibles way before the podcast, so this entire episode I was like completely wiped. Oh my lord.